Press the buttons so I can see what's going on. Good evening everyone, and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs, where tonight I'm going to be doing gingerbread themed cake. Well, that's the plan anyway. You may already have met my little gingerbread man friends earlier. So tonight I'm going to be showing you a cake using chocolate transfer sheets, and I'm going to be piping a Christmas tree. I'm going to make some lollies, just sort of bits and pieces to put on top of a gingerbread themed cake. So I'm going to be using some of Carol's new buttercream, which is called ironically gingerbread, which I've already made up in advance, and I'm going to be using that on my cake tonight as well. So look out for Carol's new winter flavours that have come out with the icing sugar this week. I'm just looking around to see if I've got a gingerbread one from earlier. What did I do with it? Hold on. There we go. Gingerbread theme. Gingerbread icing sugar for gingerbread theme week. So there you go. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be doing a gingerbread cake. So I'm going to put my little people on the top that I painted on Thursday. So if you missed how to do the gingerbread people, I did use the Karen Davis mould, again also available on Sugar and Crumbs, and I painted them on Thursday at 11:30. I was trying to think what day of the week it was then. So that's when I did it. So if you've seen my little people earlier, they've already made their appearance this evening. So if you have a look at the video earlier, there they are. So they are there. Okay, right. So we're going to be doing some milk chocolate tempering tonight. We're going to be doing transfer sheets. We've got a little bit of cigarellos going on. Just lots of little things tonight. Little Christmas tree, going to show you how to pipe that as well. Put some sprinkles on and go from there. So I'm going to be doing this all before the bake-off, of course, which we have to get finished for in time. So we're going to get started in just a minute. I have got Kelly here with me tonight. Say hello, Kelly.
Hello.
So any comments or questions, then do please ask Kelly. She'd be more than happy to help. She's very helpful tonight, aren't you, Kelly?
I know, yeah.
So she's been with me all day today. Been running around all day, haven't we? Mm-hmm. So we're going to start by talking about the cake that I'm going to do tonight. You know, I didn't measure it actually, but I think it's a 7-inch round cake. I did go for quite a wide top because I wanted... Oh, she's going to pass me a tape measure. You see, this is why I've got Kelly. She's very helpful. Right, so... Evening, Tracy and her little friends. I know, my little friends appeared earlier. So it's a 6-inch round cake. So it's a 6-inch round cake by, let me just measure it, 3.5 inches in height, which is the same height as a chocolate cigarello, which is what I'm going to be using tonight. Now, I'm going to show you with the chocolate cigarellos. We're going to do a panel cake, and we're going to focus on the decoration at the top as well. I'm going to be using transfer sheets, and we're going to pipe trees and all sorts of things. So hopefully there's an element there that you can pick on that you would like to have a go at some point. So if you particularly enjoy the transfers, have a go. If you want to pipe a Christmas tree, you can have a go at that as well. If you want to paint one of the Karen Davis gingerbread men, then you can do that as well. So hopefully there's plenty in there for everybody to have a go at. So Kelly's now writing in there, aren't you, Kel? I can see your names just come up.
Sorry.
Oh dear. Right, so let's what then we're going to start. So I've already got my cake with some buttercream in it just to stabilise it, to stop it shifting around. So first thing we're going to do is coat the cake in buttercream, and then we're going to put it in the fridge. We're going to let it chill in there for a bit. And while that's going on, we're going to temper our chocolate. And then we're going to swap everything over, and I'm going to show you how to paint a candy cane mould, a candy cane lollipop, which is on my website. And we're going to pipe a tree. How am I going to get all this done before the bake-off? As quick as possible. We have a speeded up version in a minute. And then hopefully by the end of it, we have a Christmas gingerbread themed cake. So that's the aim anyway tonight. We'll do some piping as well. We'll just keep going, shall we, until time runs out. So let's start with the cake and the buttercream. Now, the only slight flaw in the plan tonight is that my side camera is not working. So everything will be either me standing in front of you or from the top. So I will do my very best. I'm just going to bring the camera up a little bit here to try and give you a bit more of a view when I turn the camera in a second. So I've got my gingerbread buttercream that I made earlier, which Kelly's been trying to get at. Oh, you've been encouraging Kelly now. Don't encourage her. She'll be on a roll otherwise. That will be it. Won't be able to stop her. So the cake I'm using is from Sweet Success, which is which they've made for me. I'm not very good at making cakes. I know that sounds really bad because I should be good at making cakes. I'm good at making cupcakes, very good at making cupcakes. But Kelly's better.
Yeah,
She's looking at me going, I make all the cupcakes. I know you do. So yes, Kelly's very good at making cupcakes. And what did I do with those piping bags? There they are. Right, okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to coat the cake in a layer of buttercream. So that's the very first thing we're going to do. I'm just going to pull my camera back a little bit further so you can see. Right, there we go. All right. So there's my cake. Let's get it under there, like so. And I'm going to take my buttercream. And all we're going to do is just crumb coat it to start with. That's the palette knife I'm after. So when you do this, when you make your buttercreams, Kelly, can you just get me a tiny bit of water in a pot, please? Sometimes when you make your buttercream, it can be quite stiff. So I tend to add sometimes a little bit of water just to kind of soften it up when I'm doing a crumb coat, because otherwise you end up with it pulling all the cake apart. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of water. Now somebody's going to say to me, why not milk? And the answer to that is because I feel it just adds a bit more of an element of risk in there. I just prefer to use water because I'm not adding any other flavours. I don't need to, because Carol has very kindly made us gingerbread buttercream. Very nice. Thank you very much, Carol, for my themed week. I don't think she does reindeer flavour because I'm doing reindeer week next week. We need to have a reindeer one, Carol. Right, okay, here we go. Right, so all I'm going to do to start with, I've just added a little bit of water to soften my buttercream up, is just take hold with a cranked palette knife. Cranked, I mean it's not a flat one. And I'm just going to go over the top of the cake. Now I'm actually going to do milk chocolate tonight. I know this is white, but all I'm actually trying to do here is just seal it so that it's not pulling the cake up really more than anything else. So as long as it's soft, just putting on a thin layer. So I'm going to be able to hold everything in place when this is finished, like so. So we'll start with the top, and then I change palette knives to a straight one to do the sides.
Do you have a simple sponge cake recipe?
I would imagine that Carol does on her recipe site. I'm going to guess, which is, what's she called that? Caking it up recipes or something? They'll know, they'll all jump in a minute and tell me. So yes, I'm sure someone will point you in the direction of that particular Facebook page where there's recipes for cakes. Right, okay, so we've done that bit. Now we're just going to put some buttercream around the outside edge. Again, make sure it's quite soft and go round like so. Hopefully you can see, you can't probably see the sides at the moment. You know I'm going round them, but you probably can't see that well, but I will endeavour to show you to the best of my ability. Mixing it up, there you go. Did I call it caking it up? Mixing it up. There's a Facebook page called Mixing It Up, Sugar and Crumbs, I suspect. And I was thinking there's some recipes. Well, there's lots of clever ladies on here that know their cake recipes, so I'm sure they can all give you a wonderful recommendation of cakes. So when I go and crumb coat a cake, I always start at the top and then I do the sides. Then where it meets in the middle, at the top there, I just go across like that. It saves me doing this rather than this. So what it stops me from doing is destroying these edges. What a lot of beginners do is they do this and then they come down the side like this, and then you have a problem where you've torn all your cake at the side. Okay, so you want to just do the top, push it out as far as you possibly can, and then do the sides, and you'll find they'll then merge together. Make sure your buttercream's got some water in it so it's spreadable, as you won't want that pulling up your cake. So if anybody wants to follow this tonight, this is a 6-inch round cake. So I'm sticking to small cakes at the moment because we don't need big cakes at the minute. So I'm just sticking to smaller projects. And we don't want to end up with cake or too much cake. And I'm just going backwards and forwards, paddling it along like so. And nearly at the bottom here, and I will again, I'm giving you the idea of how to do a crumb coat and get it all joined together at the top here. Okay. I'm not too worried about showing you what's going on the sides. I'm more concerned about you understanding why I go across the top and then round the sides, because to be honest with you, she says, nearly falling off her chair, we're going to be showing you how to put things on later on. So I will just go round with a nice plastic side scraper, just scraping off any excess icing buttercream. I'll just pop that in there because I'm going to reuse that anyway, and then just pull this across. Again, I don't need perfection. I'm not going to sit here trying to perfect this. I just want it to be crumb coated with my gingerbread buttercream. And a little bit on the side there. And then that's it. So we're not going for perfection, we're just going for a covering. Although it's hard to resist because that's what I'm like. I want to go and do it again. Okay, there we go. Job done. Right, that's the buttercreamy bit out the way. Let's move that out the way, Kelly, for the moment. Okay, let's go back onto the other screen, which my hands are covered in icing sugar already. The cloth is there. It's standby, good girl. Right, let's get this in the fridge. In there, just give my hands a quick wipe, and then we'll have a mini clear up as well because there's crumb everywhere as ever because I'm so messy. Put that there, and plastic side scraper, and we'll just get rid of everything off the table, and then we're not making a mess. Done. Perfect. So far so good. That's all right. Okay, so now what we're doing, we are going to start tempering our chocolate. So we're going to be using chocolate transfer sheets tonight with ironically, it's got a gingerbread on it, what a surprise, and some candy canes, and we're going to make some lollies, and we're also going to make some panels to go around the edge of the cake as well. So we're going to have little gingerbread panels, and we're going to have some little lollies as well. So let me get myself organised there. So what I've done, I'm going to use 2 different transfer sheets tonight. Let me show you what they look like. Let's get my pink board back out again. Okay, so we have got, let's change the camera, press the button. Right, so we have got 2 tonight. We've got this one here, which is called Hats and Canes. Okay, and this one here is called just Gingerbread Men, and we're going to use both tonight. So we're going to make lollies with this one, and we're going to make panels with this one. So if you haven't come across transfer sheets before, let me give you a brief explanation. I've been on here quite a few times showing people what they are, but I will explain them again. So they are acetate sheets, and on the acetate sheets, there's on the other side, there is a pattern that's been sprayed, which is cocoa butter. And that is what we're having on this side, okay? So it's rough on one side and smooth on the other. So we're going to be using this side here. So basically it's food colouring and cocoa butter. And what happens is it reacts with the chocolate and it will melt, and then it will pick up the pattern, and then you'll be able to cut panels and various things like that. Talking of which, Kelly, I forgot to get my knife out. Oh no, I can see it, that's all right. And my old panic just passed then. No problem. Right, so transfer sheets are available on my website, Not the Sugar and Crumbs page, and there are loads. And if you want to have a go at Christmas, you're going to be able to make some amazing lollies with these, and obviously this amazing cake tonight for my little friends, the gingerbread people, and you will be able to do all of this. So, however, we need to follow the rules. So we're going to be using Calabao chocolate, which looks like this. I've got a very big bag here in front of me. So we're using milk tonight. This is a 2.5 kilo bag. Oh, it smells so nice. The bag is slightly open, Kelly. I can really smell it. I'm going to put it over there out of my way. Very tempting. And we're going to temper the chocolate. So if you haven't seen that before, let's just run through that. And we need to be ready. So if you're going to do any chocolate tempering and then you're going to be using molds and all these other bits and pieces, you need to be ready with everything so that when you start doing your work, you are ready to do your tempering. And I'm looking at my crank palette knife, which I'm now going to pass to Kelly, who's going to wash it up for me, because I need that. See, that's how prepared I am. I was telling Kelly that she needs to do some washing up, so there we go. So we're going to start with the tempering process with the callets, which are here. There we go. And we're going to be using a microwave. So it's a plastic bowl and it is a plastic spatula and a microwave. That's what I use for tempering. I don't have a thermometer and I just go through it step by step. So it's 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, and I stick to this rule and it works. Okay, if you cheat, then it won't work. It's as simple as that. If you start speeding up the process, then you will have problems with it. So I'm going to just get myself another board here because I want to do one lot on. Going to get myself organised. You see it all lined up, everything ready to go. You see, no, I don't get caught out. Right, so let's start with the microwave over here. Let's move my chair out of the way so I don't end up falling over. Or if I'm going to fall over, I might as well do it on screen, mightn't I? Right, let's turn my camera slightly so we can see the microwave. Oh, no. And that. So, to start the process, we are going to start with microwaves on high. I have got approximately, I don't know, I've probably got about 750 grams in there, I think, of chocolate. But to be honest, I didn't weigh it. I'm just kind of looking at the bag and thinking that's roughly what I've used. And the first round is going to be 30 seconds and it's on high, and I'm just going to let it run through, and then I'm going to start my 10-second stir process. And that's what it does to make the temperature correct. So we're going to very carefully creep that temperature up until we get to the point where it is tempered. Now, each chocolate takes a different amount of time. So white chocolate's the quickest, then milk, and then dark. So dark chocolate will take, this process will take the longest amount of time with dark chocolate. Now, when you start the very first kind of rounds with all this, there's nothing to see and you think, there's nothing happening. What am I doing? So, but you must stick to this, and I know I keep going in and out, but the cycle takes 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm going to keep talking. But there is nothing to show you at this stage. It literally is a case of just me stirring around some chocolate and then not a lot else going on. So that's kind of what's happening at the moment. You're all looking at my cakes, aren't you, around there?
The
Website, or put that up quickly while I'm messing around. So if you want to look at the transfer sheets, there they are, it's on there.
Everyone keeps talking about caramel calabash.
Caramel Calabao.
Yeah, I haven't had any either.
No, I think we've got some somewhere. I think Carol sent us some somewhere. I need to have a look out for that one. It's around somewhere. We did ruby chocolate, didn't we, the other week? That was nice. If you want to look at the ruby chocolate, go back, how many weeks ago is that? About 4 weeks ago? No, I think it's more than that. About 4 weeks ago, and I did a demonstration on the ruby chocolate with some pink, which is pink, with some leopard print transfer sheets. Very tasteful, very stylish, of course. Have a look at that demonstration. Just go back and you'll find it in there. So, they're saying I'm surrounded by cakes. They're everywhere. Huh?
And you did the pink Christmas tree.
I've done pink Christmas tree. I've done quite a few pink things. Having a pink Christmas this year, maybe. So, still not a lot to show you. Let me just put the other camera on so I can show you what I mean. So, I've been going a few cycles now, and you can see there's really hardly anything going on, which kind of does demotivate you a little bit, because you think, oh, I know, I'm live. I'll speed it up a little bit, but actually that's probably the worst thing I could do. I need to make sure I follow these rules, otherwise it's not going to work. So I do need to take my time with it and just wait and carry on. So it just means I have to talk more. That's not difficult, is it? Is it, Kelly?
No.
No. So we'll just keep going. It won't take much longer. In the meantime, it gives you a few seconds to get your transfer sheets organised. which I did earlier. Now, what's that one? Some I cut earlier in a hurry. There we go. Yeah, they're the right size. So I cut them the same size as the cigarellos. So earlier today, I measured the height of one of these, and I have measured my transfer sheet out according, let me move that across so you can see it that way. I've measured it the same height as my transfer sheet, because transfer sheets are big. They're like 40 centimetres by 30. They are big sheets. They're bigger than an A4 sheet. And you can cut them up, so you don't have to use them all in one go. You can take little bits off, then roll it back up and put it away. So you don't have to worry about using it all in one go. Now what this method does, it stops you needing to be aware of the temperatures, because all you're doing is just creeping the temperature up. So you don't have to worry by using a probe or some sort of chocolate thermometer about how hot it is. You're just looking at it visually. And it's a much better way of doing this than trying to use a thermometer, where I just find that very distracting.
Rebecca asks, can you colour white chocolate with rainbow dust powder in the cocoa butter painting set? Your cocoa butter painting sets.
You can use dusts, yes, no problem. You can use dusts. Yeah.
Just not liquids, isn't it?
Not liquids, no liquids like
Gels.
hold on, I've just got to sort this out. So no gels and no liquid colours. Sugar Flare have just bought one out, which I don't think I've got here actually. Colour Mill is the other one, which is a little pot. That's the other ones for doing chocolate. This is chocolate. This isn't chocolate paste or anything else like that, 'cause chocolate paste has actually got glucose in it. And the minute you add something to chocolate, then all the rules change. So people get very confused by that.
So Samantha asks, where can she get chocolate transfer sheets from? Also, can you use shop own brand, like Tesco own brand chocolate?
Right, okay, so first and foremost, the chocolate transfer sheets are on my website, okay, which is, I'll quickly put that up again. That's where you're going to find all the chocolate transfer sheets. And if you can't make a decision which ones you want for Christmas, then you can buy an assorted pack as arranged by Kelly. And she will do it for you, and then so you don't have to pick them. You will send you 4 assorted ones. So they're on my website. What was the other question?
And can you use shop own brand chocolate?
Right.
Transfer sheets.
Okay. You're going to try and melt dairy milk. Forget it. It's not going to work. Okay. Dairy milk. I'll pick on dairy milk because it's the one most people would think, right, oh, we love dairy milk, we'll do that. It doesn't work. Don't do dairy milk. Stick with a Belgian chocolate. Now, I'm not saying that the Belgian chocolates, the stuff in Tesco's I'm sure would be fine, but I've not done it. I've only ever done it with Calabao, which is the Belgian chocolate that I've got in front of me. Price wise, it's really comparative. In fact, I think it's cheaper than the Calabao than it is in the store, and it's easier because it's in little button form as well. So I personally would stick with this. The only thing I would say is that if you buy a transfer sheet and then you buy the chocolate and then it's not worth taking the risk using a different type of chocolate to make sure it doesn't ruin your transfer sheet. I would stick with using a Belgian chocolate. Someone always says to me, this question will come up at some point, can you use candy melts? And I don't think you can. I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty certain that you can't, because it's a different base. I will try it one day, but every time I go to get round to it, I get distracted by Kelly. That's Kelly's fault. No.
Oh, can you paint on the chocolate modelling paste?
Can you paint on?
Chocolate modelling paste.
Yes, you can paint on chocolate or chocolate modelling paste. Of course. But you want to do it with cocoa butter. Well, we've had lots of conversations about cocoa butter. It's like my favourite subject, isn't it? Cocoa butter with dusting colours mixed together. Melt the cocoa butter, add in the dusting colours and paint with that. But chocolate paste, which is modelling chocolate, chocolate paste, all those things, you can airbrush it, you can paint on it with other things, because it isn't pure chocolate. If it's pure chocolate, which is what this is, So this is chocolate with nothing else added to it, then you've got to be using cocoa butter, okay? If you are using chocolate modelling paste, which has potentially got something else added to it, like glucose, or I'm trying to think of the other product, like what's it called, corn syrup, that makes modelling chocolate, then it turns into a different product. In that case, you can use gels and all these other bits and pieces. It doesn't behave the same way, but you can paint on both with cocoa butter and dusts. I hope that's clear. Is that clear?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that clear, Kelly?
Yeah, I hate to speak on behalf of everyone.
What's minging? Candy melts, oh dear. Not a huge fan of candy melts. They look great, but I think the chocolate's better, to be honest. If you can get away with using Belgian chocolate, then it's better. Right, there we go. This is where we are at the moment. Okay, so it's starting to lose its structure, so it's getting sort of like that now. So as we start to get nearer the end of the process, we now start to look at start mixing more than we do at the start. So I'm going to start slowing it all down and seeing, so more mixing, less heat. I've got to get the muscles out now. Okay, so I'll show you what it's like at the moment. Okay, so that's what it's like at the moment. So you can see we've started to lose sort of the buttons and everything, but we obviously can't do absolutely anything with that because it's too thick. So I'll put it in for another 10. We're nearly there. What happened to that palette knife? There we go. Thank you, Kelly.
Michelle says that you did a live here for modelling chocolate, but she can't find it.
I did. That was ages ago.
It's on your YouTube channel.
Oh gosh, honestly, that was what did I do? I made a little rose, didn't I, a while ago? Is that what she means? I'm not sure. If it was the little rose, I don't think it was that long ago. If it was prior to that, it was a long time ago.
Fiona asks, are you tempering that chocolate so it dries shiny?
That's the plan. Fingers crossed. You never know.
Yes, you do.
I hope so. I really hope so. Kelly's smiling at me. Right, we're nearly there. So what we're getting now is the chocolate. You see the consistency of it. We need to take it just down a little bit further, just so that it flows. So we're looking for double cream. That's what we're looking for. So when it pours like double cream and not like water. If it pours like water, then you've gone too far. That just means it's not going to trail. Right, okay, we're there. It's doing what it needs to do. Yes. The pressure when you're on a live to get this done is terrifying. Right, there we go. So that's what we want. So when I lift this up, you'll see it trailing, okay? You see it trailing like that? That's what we're looking for. And you want to make sure you've incorporated absolutely everything. Okay, so you've got to get it all down from the sides. Keep it moving. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit in a piping bag, which I'm going to just drop a little bit in there because I want the majority for my... So I've just gone off screen a bit to do that. I want the majority for the rest of my cake. Let's put a bit more in there. Okay. I'm going to close that down. So I've just popped some into a piping bag there, and I'm just going to leave that to one side just for a second. Bring this one back in, and then what we're going to do, let's move that there, is we're going to spread this onto the transfer sheet. So make sure it's rough side up, very important. And then we're just going to start with this one. So spread this all the way across, like so. Now we're going to cut some panels. So what we need this to do, we need this to start setting in a minute. So we can do that. A bit more on the end. It's actually setting quite quickly. So if I lift that up, oh, just move that out of the way, and then pop that back down again. So let that dry, turn it around, And then we'll do another one. What I want to be able to do, so am I going on screen here, is just be able to see the edges there. Okay, so I can actually then cut some shards. Okay. Setting very quickly tonight. We even turned the heaters off, didn't we, Kelly? I said every time I go live, everything sets really quickly, so we're going to turn all the heaters off. So she goes, it's freezing. I said, I know.
How thick does it need to be, the chocolate?
Okay, you need to be able to cover it. If we're doing stand-up panels, I want it to be covered fairly thickly. You'll see more when I've actually sort of cut them. You'll get a bit more of an idea. Because you'll be able to see the sides of them then. Let's pick that one up like that. Then I'm just going to move these onto another board. Just 2 seconds so we can see them more clearly. See, look, that one's set already. Bring those in. Right, now, they're dull at the moment. Well, one is drying rapidly. What we're going to do is pipe the lollies quickly before they dry. So we're just going to move that out of the way. Bring in my green board. And then on this one, with the chocolate that's in the piping bag, I'm just going to cut the end off. And what did I do with those lollipop sticks? I buried them, there they are. Okay. We've got some chocolate lollipop sticks in. All I'm going to do is just literally hold this over the sheets. Now I can pipe different size ones if I want to. You don't have to pipe them quite as haphazardly as I'm doing it, bearing in mind I'm doing this live, so there's always an element of panic going on here. So pop your sticks in, make sure you give them a twist, very important, because if you don't twist them they will fall out. Then I'm going to take this and drop them, and again, can you see them spreading? So you can make giant ones, you can make them as big or as small as you want. They're joining a little bit, but that's fine, we can soon sort that out. And they are going to go off to the fridge, so let's move those out of the way. Okay, let's bring these back in. And now we're just going to cut these into panels. Now they're starting to curl a little bit, so I do need to do this fairly rapidly. You don't want to be waiting around for this, because otherwise you will find it will all set and then you'll have a problem. So we're going to cut these in, I'll go 4 centimetres I think. Is that what we normally do? Where's the thing? So I'm going to use my tape measure at the bottom here, and I'm just going to mark 4 centimetre intervals.
How many of that size would you get out of a sheet? I'm not sure if this is referring to panels or to lollies.
Yeah, not sure on that answer. I've only got here, I haven't used a whole sheet, not by a long way. If you're doing the little mini cakes that I've done in the past, I got that on the right one there, so let me just check. If you're doing the mini, I've done mini cakes on here before. If you do the mini cakes, you can get quite a lot. It's about 8 or so. If you're doing a big cake like I'm doing, a 6-inch cake, I can easily do a 6-inch cake and more lollies. Depends how big you make things really, doesn't it? So I've marked them at the top and the bottom there, and then I'm just going to take my and just score it. Now I'm just scoring it.
How many lollies do you think it will produce?
Oh, loads. Absolutely loads. You're going to ask me specifically, and I don't know the answer, but it's going to be a lot of lollies. Okay. Like that. I think there's a bit of artistic license with my measuring tonight. Right.
How big are your mini cakes?
2 inches. So the cake I'm doing tonight is a big one. So that is a 6-inch, but the mini cakes, which I'm going to show you again next week, are the mini cakes themselves are 2 inches. This is a 6-inch, so this is a big one because we're doing reindeers next week. So we're doing reindeer week. I'm trying to do themed weeks, you see, that's the plan.
Will you be doing modelling chocolate for one of your tutorials?
Possibly. It depends if I run out of time. I'll try. How about that?
Everyone's not liking you cutting on that pink board.
Oh no, well actually I'm not cutting on the pink board, everybody. I'm actually cutting on the acetate. So I am not cutting the board at all, because don't forget the transfer sheet acetate is underneath it. So I'm not damaging my beloved pink board, don't worry. I thought they might say that. Are they all right now? Yeah, I'm nowhere near my pink board. Is that, look, absolutely no marks on it at all. You're all right. Now I'm going to pop these in the fridge. Code red. I'm loving this. Knife on pink board. Now look, look. Completely fine because I'm cutting on transfer. You're all right. Is Carol going to tell me off, isn't she? Right, there we go. Right, let's put this in here. Pop that in the fridge. I'm running out of space. Oh no, let's get the cake out actually. That would give us a bit more space, wouldn't it? Right, there we go. Pop that there. And pop that in there. Right, okay, so now earlier in the week I made some candy cane lollies. Kelly, which way round are they? Can you remember?
It doesn't matter, does it?
Is it red on the outside, that bit there? Is that what we did?
It's red,
The inside bit?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm just losing my mind here. So earlier in the week, I made, using the tempering chocolate, some candy canes out of this mould here, which is candy cane mould, which again is on my website if you want to have a look at that. And I'm going to show you now how to paint it. So this is it here. While everything is in the fridge chilling, I'm going to show you how we're going to paint this. So that's the mould. Let me turn it over there, and there's my candy cane there. And we're going to use some cocoa butter, except I put my, Kelly, can you get my matches from over there, please? They should be in there. If not, we're in trouble. Yay, she's got them. Okay, so we are going to...
Is the pink board the small one or the middle-sized one?
I think I've got the small one, because I've only got a little camera, you see, so I think it's I think I've got the small one. So, and it's all perfect, so don't worry, it will be going for many years to come. So we're going to be using this mould here, and we're going to put some cocoa butter, which we talked about a little while ago, onto here. And what's going to happen here is this will start to melt. And that's what we're going to be using to paint with. So, paintbrush. Did I bring up a paintbrush, Kelly, earlier?
Yeah, I got them out.
Did you? What did we do with them? Did you give them to me, or did I?
Yes, I did.
Right, so this is red, just plain red dust. And while I'm on screen, you're going to see that melt very, very quickly.
We've got 3 and a 0.
There they are.
And Maureen says, have you had your hair cut?
Yeah. And I got new glasses. Nobody noticed. I can actually see what I'm doing now. I've been spending weeks going, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't see anything. So yeah, I've got new glasses and I've had my hair cut. I'm glad to have my hair cut now. So you can see this all melting here. Now the only other thing you might need is a scriber. Kelly, that's in there as well. Can you pass that over?
What's
So,
that?
a scriber.
Yeah.
It's the pin. Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Oh, that was a full guess.
Okay, so something like this, which is really good for being able, if you make any mistakes, that you can actually kind of scratch at the chocolate and just remove it. So it's a really, really good tool to have if you're doing a little bit of painting on chocolate and you make any mistakes. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I have got one of my paintbrushes here. This is paintbrush number 1. It's quite a small brush. If anybody's got any of my brushes, they'll know that it's one of the smaller ones. Again, I've just been painting earlier today, so let me just get rid of the black that I've got in here. All right, just clean that up. Let's get rid of those. How are we doing for time? Oh, okay. Okay, keep going, keep going. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take the paintbrush and just dip it into the cocoa butter and pick up some of the red. So we're painting the outside edge of this.
Every other one red.
Every other one red. Thank you, boss. And it's been like a year since you've done something and you suddenly think, what am I doing? So all I'm going to do is just take my brush and very carefully paint the inside of my candy cane. So around we go. So this is quite a nice activity. Again, you can do it in advance. You don't need to do it. Can you see okay? You don't need to do this Christmas week. You can get them all done in advance. There's something the kids can do as well for you. But remember, you must do it with cocoa butter.
How are you warming the cocoa butter paint tray?
Okay, so the cocoa butter paint tray is sat on a chrome food warmer, which is basically a system that people use to keep their food warm. But what I've done is I've used it to heat my metal paint palette, and then it just keeps it warm, keeps the cocoa butter warm, and then I can paint with it. Now if you don't have anything like that, I mean you can get them on Amazon, but if you don't have anything like that, then you can use something like just a small glass bowl with some boiling water in it. So you can just use that, but you will need to replace your water approximately every sort of 20 minutes or so when it cools down, because the cocoa butter will start to set again, and so you'll need to redo it. Okay, so you can see it's starting to come on. Now where have we got to here? We're going here. Is that where my bow is? Yeah. So you can paint this however you want. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you could paint multicoloured if you fancy doing, you know, some different coloured ones, but some rainbow ones or something.
Kerry asked, if you don't have cocoa butter, can you use the dust directly onto the lolly?
It won't stay on it. It will just fall off. You need a product that's going to fix it to the chocolate. So the honest answer to that is no. You do need cocoa butter for this. Cocoa butter's really cheap. And it goes an awful long way. So it's also got a really long shelf life on it. So it's an investment. I would personally just go and get some cocoa butter and get the right stuff, because you'll be just disappointed if you paint something and then it's all falling apart. So that's what I would do.
So how far in advance can the lollies be made and painted for Christmas?
Okay, so as long as you keep them sealed, so if you keep them airtight, so you could make a load of lollies and put them in plastic bags, keep them airtight and store them in something like a couple of cake box lids so that it's not sort of exposed to light. You should be able to start doing these anytime really. It should be fine. It's only when you start exposing them to things that you start getting problems. When I say exposing them to things, it's light, heat and smell. They don't like any of those things. So if you can avoid those, then you're on to a winner.
Do the colours come off if you touch it? If so, are there any ways to seal it?
They will come off if you frantically rub them, but then if you frantically rub chocolate anyway, it's going to start melting. So I would say no, but if you aggravate them enough, they will. But then you're also starting to lift the chocolate base as well. So that's the only thing I would say.
Would you be able to put up the link to your website? People are asking where you can buy cocoa butter from.
I will put the link up to my website.
As well as the candy cane lolly and pot moulds. They're on the website.
They're on the website. Now, I forgot, I couldn't remember tonight whether I changed the quantities on there. So if I haven't put them on for any reason or we run out, I'll sort it out later on today when I get back, because I couldn't remember what I'd done. I've been in a panic and a rush all day long today, so I will check it out when I get back.
Could you please explain cocoa butter and what paints you're using?
So cocoa butter is this product here, which is in little button form, and all you do is melt it and you mix it with dusts. It's very, very straightforward. And dusts you would tend to have would come from doing sugar flowers, so lots of dusting there, painting. So some people probably already got dusts and they don't really realise what they can do with them. So that works well.
Could you use coconut oil instead of coconut butter?
People have been using coconut oil, and I understand that it is not as easy, but it is possible. And the reason I say that is because some people are living in other countries where getting cocoa butter is really quite difficult. So they have been using coconut oil, but I understand it's more difficult, and that's them telling me, not the other way round. Gosh, there's loads of questions. Keep going.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
You
Okay,
just all came with it once. Like, where can you get cocoa butter? Where can you get?
So cocoa butter is on Carol's site, Sugar and Crumbs, and it's on my site as well. The candy cane mould on my site, if you go into cake supplies, if anybody's getting lost on my site, go into cake supplies under the chocolate mould section, you'll find this. Or if I can't find it, I'll show you where it is after I've finished. There we go. Now you see, I've just clipped this bit here, which I'm not too happy about. So I could just take my scriber there, you see, and I can just kind of scratch that chocolate back. So if you get anything in the wrong place, you can just go back and sort it out that way. But this is just quite good fun more than anything else. You've made yourself a nice chocolate lollipop, which is going to sit on top of the cake. I mean, I haven't actually done this cake. This is in my mind how it's going to work, you see. So I hope it's going to be all right. I'm sure it'll be fine. So, and then we'll just paint the inside of this bow as well. Any more questions, Kelly?
No.
No? Okay. You can make this whatever you want. You can change it around. You don't have to do it like I've done it. It's entirely up to you. I'm just trying to do it as quick as I can, really. I think that's the key with this. And in the meantime, everything's setting in the fridge. So I'm hoping I've given myself enough time to do it all. That's what I'm aiming for anyway. So again, I've just clipped the edge there, just scratch the chocolate and just remove the colour. And that will take it all off. If I was doing this and I had lots and lots of time, I would probably paint it twice just to tidy it all up. But I don't have time to do that tonight, so I'm just going to continue as is.
Okay, so somebody said to use rejuvenated mix with dust to redecorate choc bombs. Would cocoa butter be more effective?
Rejuvenator, I believe, is like an alcohol, which means it's liquid, and the cocoa butter is the only thing that sticks to chocolate. You can do luster dust, I think, on the chocolate bombs, just neat. So luster dust, I think, to be honest with you, I put cocoa butter with everything. So I've gone out of sync a little bit with that. But there's loads of people on here doing chocolate bombs, so they're all going to start telling me in a minute what they've been using. So hopefully, now you've asked that question, a few people will mention what they've been using. So there we go, something along those lines. That's a very rushed job.
Well, 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they get the coloured dusts from?
Either me or Carol, either or.
And this is an interesting one and you'll know the answer to.
Oh God, no pressure.
If someone is vegan or has a nut allergy, what is the alternative to cocoa butter?
Kelly?
I have a nut allergy and I can consume cocoa butter. I'm not vegan. Did we establish if cocoa butter was vegan?
Yeah, I think it's okay, but you can check, you can Google it while you're sat there.
Yeah.
And have a look. Kelly will Google it, but I'm pretty certain it is. There's no animal product in there.
If not, coconut oil.
I'm sure cocoa butter's fine, but Kelly will double check for you to confirm that. Kelly has a severe nut allergy, which sends me crazy, doesn't it, Kelly?
It is suitable for vegans, but you have to be careful what brand.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because it's all natural. Cocoa butter is a completely natural product.
Yeah, cocoa butter's like, I'm going to compare it to an egg. It is a basic product, isn't it? It's just called cocoa butter. We get Calabao in. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to double check whether it's got anything funny in it. I don't think it has. Anyway, there we go. I'm just getting carried away doing this now, and I've got other things I need to do. So I'm going to move on. Right, so there is my candy cane ready for the top of my cake for my little gingerbread friends. Right, let's move that out the way. I'm going to pop that down there with them. So we've got that ready.
Someone asked, where was it gone? Jeannie asked that she bought some lemon essence. Can you think what I bought it for? I could not find cocoa butter on the web, so I bought that because I heard it was some sort of substitute.
People do use lemon to mix with dusting colours to paint with, but cocoa butter is totally different, completely different. It's not that product, no. But you can paint with lemon juice. I think it's mainly lemon juice rather than lemon oil. But
Like
yeah,
lemon extract.
lemon extract.
Is there dairy-free chocolate you can use?
Oh, I don't know. I've never looked for dairy-free chocolate. I'm not 100% sure on that one, to be perfectly honest. I can have a look and try and find out for you, but I'm not sure on the answer of that one. Right, I'm going to carry on. My hair looks lovely, thank you. Does it make me look younger? This is the most important thing, especially if you're going to give me that information and Kelly is sat there. So and I'm hitting a significant age in January, which I'm not very happy about, but anyway, that's another story. Right, okay, so cake's back in position. We're now going to, I'm going to just turn my camera down actually and turn to the side. So hopefully you'll be able to see. Let me just see what I'm doing. So my camera down tonight. I turned up down here and lo and behold, actually that's not going to work. Lo and behold, it was flat and that's not very helpful, is it? No, so that's now upside down. So we're going to go sideways and I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. We're going to stick to what we were doing before. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the camera so I can see what I'm doing. Right, that's better. We're there now. Okay, right. So cake is back in position.
Is cocoa butter the best thing to mix with dust?
Yes. That was an easy one. Right, let's have a look at these transfers. Let's move this out of the way and let's see what's going on. So these lollipops have been in the fridge for about 15 minutes, something like that. So are you ready? There you go, magic. So chocolate has, these two are joined together, but that's okay. We can always split them up, like so. There we go. So the chocolate has picked up the pattern. You can see on there, if I hold them up. These are joined together. All right, so they've picked up the pattern that was on the transfer. You can see it's taken the pattern off. So that means that this is a single use item. So once that's done, it's finished. Okay, so that's the end of the transfer sheet. So let's put that over there. And let's bring in the shards. All right, there we go, brilliant. Okay, so that's what they've picked up like. So you can see what they look like. So let's turn these over. These should just pull apart, like so. There we go. And these ones as well. So I'll lift those up. Now they're snapping like that because I've scored them. Do you remember? Knives and pink boards, I've scored them so they literally will just snap apart and then I've got them in a straight line. If I do them, if I didn't put that line in, if I didn't score them, then when I went to snap them, they would just snap in all sorts of different shapes and I want them to be very straight. So that's why I have scored them. Right, so that's that done. Right, let's bring my cake in. Now, I do apologise for this. I say I'll try and...
Do you want me to move the top camera down?
No, I'm going to just turn my camera very slightly like that. So hopefully everyone can see the side a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, very carefully, yeah, don't start moving that one because everything will go to pot then, Kelly. Right, let's just put a little bit more buttercream, a little bit more in there, just so it's a bit softer. Now, what you can do, if you're going to transport this, potentially I would add a tiny bit of chocolate into your buttercream just to really fix it so that when you send your cake out or you take your cake out, it's going to stick. It's not going to end up moving about all over the place. Okay, so we're going to start now by putting on a layer of buttercream. We don't need a huge amount because we've already done our bit on there, and then I'm going to put my first panel on like so. Hoping you can see it okay. As I say, just bear with me because we are a camera down tonight, so I will just try and give you a view. I'll show you at the end if I don't. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple of cigarellos either side of the transfers. Now I just think it makes them really stand out If you don't have cigarellos and you wanted to do something else, there you go. I'll bring it back a little bit. There you go. You can use something like chocolate fingers, Kit Kats.
You could just pipe buttercream.
You could pipe buttercream, yeah. You could pipe buttercream between them. I just really like these because I just think they look super smart. But again, don't feel obliged to. Right, it's run out of buttercream. I always do everything in a bit at a time because otherwise I find if I put all my buttercream on in one go, by the time I get round to the other end, I found that it's all dried out and then everything falls off. So a little bit at a time, so maybe 3 or 4 panels at a go, and then keep going. So let's put another one in there. Now when I finish this completely, I will take a photograph of it and I will put it on my Instagram account. So if you can't see it completely, I will do that at the end. So don't feel like you've missed out. As long as you kind of understand the basic principle of what I'm doing, then we should be absolutely fine. See if my little gingerbread men friends are going to be pleased with my efforts. Okay, and a couple more. You can do them in any arrangement you like. You don't have to put them with the little cigarellos in between. You can just use the transfers and nothing else. I just quite like the panel look. In fact, I'm very, very keen.
You can do alternative panels.
You can do alternative panels, Kelly. You can. So you could do hats and canes and then gingerbread men. You could just do anything like that. I say someone said matchmakers. Matchmakers are fine. Look how quick it is. This is what I like about this. It's so quick. So you can do all of this in advance. And then literally you can put it together very, very quickly. Bear in mind, I've only got literally an hour and a half to do this from start to finish. It is a bit of a panic most of the time. Now I'm just going to take out one of these cigarellos so I can get in my final panel. Let's see if I've got a slightly thinner one. There we go, look at that, magic. So I'm going to end up with 2 at the back there, but that's okay. There we go. Can you see? Just going to pull it down a tiny bit further so you can have a better look on the side. So I do apologise for my dodgy camera angles tonight. Okay, so we've got that bit going. Right, I will show you another angle later on, so don't worry, you won't miss out. Right, now let's put these out of the way. I'm passing those to you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Hee, that means she's going to eat them. Then we're going to put our gingerbread men on there. Let's do that next. So these were painted earlier in the week. These are Karen Davis moulds. There they are. Now, they have got sugar paste. They are made of sugar paste. And I did paint them live. I painted one and not the other, as you saw maybe earlier from my video. So if you want to go back and watch how I turn them into gingerbread men, go back on Sugar and Crumbs Nifty Nozzles to last Thursday at 11:30 and you'll see this little chap being painted and how I made it. So hopefully that will help you work that out. So let's just turn this again and see what camera angle we can get for you.
Do you work out the sizes of panels and sticks while designing the cake?
I don't measure anything. I'm terrible. I'm really, really bad. And then people say, what does that measure? And I go, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. So the answer to that question is I probably should, but I don't usually. But I measured these ones tonight and they were 4 centimetres. And I've got all the way around the cake. And then at the end, I've got 1 cigarello either side. So you can just adjust it. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Right, we're going to have a top view of this at the moment. And we're going to put... now where's the back of this? That's going to be there. So I'm going to put one gingerbread man. Now he's on a skewer, so I'm going to stand you there, and I'm going to put the other. Is that going to go down far enough? Yes, we're going to put you there as well. As I say, I will change the angle. We'll have you looking at each other, I think. Okay, there we go. So we'll just turn that back a little bit. There you are. There's a lot of love in the room, you can see. Right, okay, so we've got those on. Now we are going to put on here, what did I do with those? Oh, it's under there. We're going to put our candy cane on behind. So I'm going to just stick that on behind them. So I'm just going to push that in the cake there. I'm going to lift this up in a minute so you can see everything. And I'm going to go back down to the other camera. I'm going to take my little lollies that I made. And I'm just going to, now these are quite long, these sticks, so let me find some scissors to cut them down a bit because they are a bit long. Drive me crazy otherwise. And then we're going to put these, so should we put that one there? And we'll put one there. This is like a winter wonderland, this going on, isn't it? And we'll have another one. What time is it? Time to do a tree, maybe. And put that there. Okay, now let's have a look. Have we got time to pipe a tree? Okay, we'll have a go at piping a tree. I think we've just about got enough time on this, so let me change the camera back again. So we've got everything on at the moment, but I did promise we'd try and pipe a tree, so we'll do that now. So what we're going to do, just move it all up. No, yeah, I'll have that one. I'll swap you that one for that one. It's got a bit of chocolate on it, but hey ho. We're going to use ice cream cones. These make great trees, okay? So if you need to make any Christmas trees this year, you need to get some ice cream cones because they work brilliantly. And as usual, I haven't done one yet for over a year, so my brain's already going. Don't forget, Tracy. Right, so we're going to dye the buttercream first. So we're going to, it's got chocolate on everything. Let me get rid of that. So we're going to take some buttercream. There we go. Actually, this is going to coordinate nicely with her dress, isn't it? I think. And now I have got a Wilton gel colour, but any green will be fine. This just happened to be the one I picked up. So any green, no problem at all. I'm just going to use my lollipop stick to get this out. Okay, put that down over there. And palette knife.
Does the chocolate break when you cut the cake?
Yes.
Just cut between the cigarillos.
Yeah.
Big slices.
Big slices of cake, yes, if they will. They're quite thin. Somebody said to me earlier, didn't they, about how thin it was going to be. So I will show you the top when I've finished piping my luminous green tree.
What kind of nozzle will you be using?
I'm going to be using this one, which is a Wilton 366. Oh, except I'm not on that camera, am I? I'm showing you on a camera, it's not switched on. It's this one. It's a V-shaped nozzle. It's Wilton 366. That is what I'm using. Let me just put a bit more green in here, so I'd like it to be a bit darker. I'll change my camera back in a second. Got a very green, luminous tree at the moment. Okay. So sometimes paste colours particularly, they do tend to darken overnight, although this is very, very green. I think we're going to go luminous green. That's very green. Let me find a darker green to add in there because I think that might be one step too far. What else we got? Let's try this one. I'm going to add another green in. This is a Pro Gel green because I think this one might be a bit too on the luminous side. Unless you approve, Kelly. You're the colour queen. Kelly is very good at colours. If you ever need to know a colour, Kelly will tell you for sure. She's absolutely brilliant at it. I've told her she can't move out. Isn't that right, Kel?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just try darken it down a little bit. So I've got some, when it finally comes out of here, what have I got? Pro Gel Leaf Green. So we're nearly there. Let's get some of that out. I just want it to be a bit darker. Let's see what that does. Or we make it even more luminous. We're going to have to run with it, I think. Because otherwise
It's a very happy Christmas tree.
Sorry?
Just very happy.
Who said that?
Me.
There we go, that's better. It just doesn't, I just didn't want it to be quite so glaringly obvious. Now what I'm going to do is pipe the majority of this on the board and then I'm going to move it. and pipe the bit at the end on the cake. I think that's what I'm going to do. So you could always do these, chill them down, and then put them on the cake. So you don't have to do them straight onto the cake. So you could do it. Where's my bag? You could do them, put them in the fridge, and then put them on your cakes, or you can just do it like I'm doing it. Let's move these lids out of the way because I can honestly guarantee I'm going to put my arm in them. Right. Okay. I'm going to use this bag. Okay, so we've got that nozzle in. Okay, got that. Wilton, what did I say? 366. And I'm just going to get rid of those in the bin. Just use that, just going to put some icing in my bag. Yeah, my kids are forbidden from moving out. I hope you're reading that comment, Kelly.
Just looking at the door, eyeing it up.
She loves it really, don't you, Kel? Ding, that's me not dinging a bell, that's me dinging a glass, just loading up the bags. Right, okay. Right, okay, I'm just checking we've got the icing coming out, which we have. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom. I'm not going to start right at the bottom, I'm just going to start up a little bit. Let's hold it, actually, that might help, mightn't it? So we're going to squeeze and pull out. Like that might help if I had the nozzle around the right way, mightn't it? Squeeze and pull out. Like that. Actually, that one's really annoying me. Let me just get rid of that first one. In fact, let me just take those off and start again. Right. Okay, here we go. So the nozzle itself, it looks like that. You need to turn it that way, okay? It is important that you turn it that way. I'm also going to have to hold this to start with, so it's squeeze and pull out. I'm just going to start at the bottom and go round. Now I'm not right at the very bottom because I want to be able to pick this up. I don't want this welding itself to the table and then me having a problem.
Can you put any amount of colouring in, or is there a limit?
I mean, there is a limit. I mean, you know, you don't want to put in an entire pot. You'll know when you get to the right colour. Okay, so there you go, there's the start. Don't knock it over. I've got to get to the top of this without knocking it over. Once you've gone round the first time, what I would do then is I would put, I've just read that.
Have you seen I've liked it as well?
She doesn't need any encouragement. Once you've done that, then go between, but again, just remember, because it's still not, it's still quite light at the moment, hold on tight to it. So you are piping with one hand. And I am not left-handed, so I don't know why on earth I'm piping with my left hand. But you want to kind of go between what you've just done. So squeeze and pull out. Okay. I'm making a whole gingerbread scene tonight, aren't I? And then we'll go up again. The joy of ice cream cones is because they are kind of Christmas tree shape, is they are going to do it all for you. Let me just pop there so you can see it. You can start speeding up then. Even you're holding your breath, Kelly.
Just a little bit. Just because I hate piping. I'm so bad at it.
No, you're not. She's good at painting now, aren't you? You can't be good at everything, Kelly, can you? Although you're my child, so you are.
Exactly.
Right, okay, so there we are. We're going up here. Now, the only thing I would say with this is just make sure you get low enough down so you don't end up with any gaps. Okay, so it's getting more towards the top now. How are we doing? Yeah. And then once you've piped it all, while it's still wet, you can then add some sprinkles. You need to do it with buttercream still soft, because if you leave it to dry then it won't stick, so you do need to be fairly quick with it. Buttercream crusts over pretty quick. So this is really nice and simple to do, and it's very effective and very quick.
How far in advance could you make the Christmas trees?
No, I wouldn't make them too far in advance, because I think the cone will probably go quite soft. So I probably wouldn't make them more than a couple of days ahead. I don't think they're not really a storage item. They're not the same as the lollies.
Probably get knocked easily.
Yeah, it would get knocked as well. So I probably would just make them as you need them. Right, now I've almost got to the top. Oh, I've gone off screen a little bit. Right, I've almost got to the top, but I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put it on top of my cake to finish it. I'm not going to, because then I won't be able to move it. So let me just bring that in. Bring my cake back. I've got a little gap at the back there, so I'm going to pick up my tree and hope it fits. Almost. I might have to move you actually. I'm going to move you forward a little bit, Mr. Gingerbread Man. Hold on, because my tree takes priority, I'm afraid. There you go, you stand there. All right, and we'll pop the tree in there. Let me just turn it round, make sure I'm happy with that.
Do you think you could freeze the cones?
Oh, I don't know. They're quite, I don't know, maybe. Give it a go, see what happens. Could try. Right, let's put that there. So I'm just adjusting everything before I put in the final bits of buttercream. Okay, so now we're going to go to the top. Am I still on screen? Just about. Sorry, it's getting quite close because I am actually right at the top of the camera. Okay, let's keep going. Turn it around. Right, I'm just going to have to turn it round this way so I can actually get to the top. Oh, there we go. Now, when you've finished, if you then look round your tree, it's got a funny point, my tree, but that's okay. If you see any gaps, you can then go in with your bag and just fill any gaps that you see. So I just turn my tree around, because sometimes when you look at it on the side, you see something different from what you were looking at the bottom. You can always go in as well, and you can always add to the bottom of the tree. Now it's actually in position. So if you wanted to add an extra layer around the bottom just to seal it in, you can do that as well. Just, you can keep going.
You could dip the cone in chocolate to preserve it.
You could dip the cone in chocolate, absolutely, if you wanted to. Right, let's put a few sprinkles on.
Who organised that bag of sprinkles?
Who organised that bag of sprinkles, Kelly Man? Right, I'm just going to take my camera down the side a little bit because it's, there we go. Sorry about the angles tonight. I say we are having, we had some camera difficulties when we turned up tonight. It all sort of went a bit wrong. As in the charger wasn't here, so it didn't charge very well. Okay, let's move that there. Where do we want camera? That's where we want it. That's better. So, little bag of sprinkles, and if you're quick, as I say, you can then just put on. You've got to do this while the buttercream's still wet. So, you've got to be fairly quick. So, am I coming at this? You can see it, yeah. Some little white snowflakes and little, whoops, drop that one, doesn't matter. That's okay. That's all right. Put some more around the front because that's the bit we're going to see, isn't it? So push a few more in there. Let's turn it so you can see it. I'm trying to make sure you can see as much as possible. give you a good view in a minute. And I can show you what it looks like. Now, if your Mr. Gingerbread Man's in the way, you can always move him to finish decorating your tree. Whoops, I dropped that one. You can just pull him out because he's on a skewer, so he's just standing up on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some dark chocolate curls. I'm just going to cover the base. So I'm just going to put some curls on here now.
Then use the sheets on both sides of the chocolate.
You can if you want to, yeah, you can do that. If you're doing for lollies, you can't really do it you'd have to cut them all separately, because if you think about it, you can't really cut through 2 sheets. So you'd have to cut them.
I've got 2 more questions.
Oh God, come on then.
Would it be easier to put the tree on first?
Can do.
You didn't think of that one.
Well, when you're live, your train of thought does tend to go a bit haywire, so it just becomes a moment where you just have to get it all done.
And the other question is, do you sell the sprinkles you're using?
They're not on my website. No, they're on Carol's website.
The sprinkles?
I
on
haven't.
the tree?
I haven't put them on. Oh, the sprinkles. No, I haven't put them on. I know.
They're ready.
There are some sprinkles on Carol's site, so I'm sure she's got some on there. Right, so let's put all that in there and fill our gaps. There we go. Right, let's turn this round a little bit. You can see where we're going with this, can't you? Right, I'm just going to finish it up down here. I'm going to talk to you for a second while I'm doing this, so that in case it goes wrong. Right, I'm just going to put a few sprinkles down there. It's all fine. That's okay. Right. Oh my goodness, what have we done? It's 7:45. Oh, we're done. We're done. Right, are you ready? Are you ready for the grand finale? Let's make sure it's all covered. I'm just going to titivate it a minute, just so it looks lovely for its grand finale. Okay.
Can you just icing sugar on the tree to make it look like...
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what we're going to do. Absolutely. Yes.
Someone's asking, what's my website?
Her website's tracyscakes.co.uk.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Right, are we ready for our gingerbread man finale cake? Okay, I'm just tidying it up a little bit. Perfect. There we go. Right. There we go. That is our gingerbread cake for this evening, including our tree and our candy cane and our panels, all done within near an hour and a half from start to finish. How about that for Christmas? That's a good idea, isn't it? It's lots of fun and it's really bright and cheerful, and there's lots of elements that I hope on here that you will be able to take away from this. So if you didn't end up doing this cake but you fancied having a go at the transfers, or you fancied piping some Christmas trees, or you wanted to make the gingerbread men out of Karen Davis's mould, or just even the lollipops for somebody, there is an awful lot on this cake that I hope that has inspired you this evening to have a go for Christmas, and that you will be able to have a go and make some of the elements for it. So I'm going to put my website up there. It is different. I hope it's different anyway. I'm trying to reinvent Christmas this year so that we do have some different ideas. Let me turn it around so you can see it. If you are interested in how to paint the Karen Davis's moulds, then do go across to the live that I did on Thursday at 11:30 last week, and I show you how to paint him. There's also a very speeded up version on my Instagram page, so if you do want to have a look on there, then do go to my Instagram. I'm always putting up my pictures for Sugar and Crumbs. Today's been a bit manic, so I have got a bit behind today. That's why I did a bit of a mad intro to this earlier tonight, if you saw my 2 little gingerbread men friends appear. But I will take a picture of this and I will put this up so that you will be able to see it properly on my Instagram page when I finish tonight. So I hope I've inspired a few of you tonight to have a go. So the transfer sheets are on my website. You're very welcome. If you have any questions, then do please let me know. It is sweet, isn't it? Look at all those elements on there. Lots and lots of things you can make. You could really go for this, couldn't you? You could make a real little winter wonderland with this. Oh, snow. Somebody said about snow. Right, I'm standing by with my icing sugar. Right, are we ready? So we're going to have some snow now. Okay, here we go. So we've now got a snow scene. Look at that. Right, I'm going to turn that in a bit, get a bit closer there. Look, tip it forward. There you go. Got some snow on the tree. So yes, once you've done it, if you fancy doing a bit of snow, then get the icing sugar out and just very carefully sprinkle that over the top as well. All right. So I hope that you've had a lovely evening, and more to come, because obviously the bake-off's on shortly, which we will be racing home for, Kelly, as well. Do go across to my website and have a look. As say, it's www.tracyscakes.co.uk for the transfer sheets. These little moulds are Karen Davis moulds. I don't sell them. These actually do belong to Sugar and Crumbs, so you need to go across to their website for those. And I will be back on Thursday at 11:30, where hopefully, all being well, I'm planning to paint poppies on cupcakes. So as long as my trial run goes okay tomorrow, then that's what we'll be doing. Otherwise, it may change, but I will let you know. That's the plan of action. And as I say, I will be back on Thursday here at 11:30. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on Thursday at 11:30. Now remember, if you go to work, you can watch these lives again because they stay on here. So if you miss out, that's fine, you can go back and watch it. But I will be back on Tuesday evening at 6:30 as well. And then I will see you on Thursday or Tuesday. So take care, see you soon, bye.
Bye bye.